The CORSAIR DreamHack Masters continues on today. That's right here. Dallas, Texas is the host of this one. In 2019, he's already treated us quite well, and this tournament is going to be absolutely no different. Unfortunately, we've had to send some teams home to include that of Cloud9. They are actually still here. I think they need to stick around to do some meet greets for you all tomorrow in the arena. But for the time being, we need to barrel through some of these matches. Upper brackets and semifinals and everything that you can think about within the brackets, they've all kind of culminated to this. And this is where I also tell you that I do greatly appreciate all of those to make this very much reality, to include AT&T, Chipotle, the Burritos, CORSAIR, CS.Money, Esport Management, and Monster Gaming. Welcome back, everybody, for day number 3 here, live from the Kay Bailey Arena, or Kay Bailey Convention Center. I do have some guests here along with me. Yeah, it was close, man. I kind of gave it hell. I kind of gave it everything I had to. I do have Pimp here and Maniac. I'm not even going to go with the last names. We're just going to keep it very surface level. Guys, quite a bit of upsets. Yesterday, everyone's still talking about Furia, and that's about right. But overall, what else have we seen in this tournament?
I mean, I think we've seen a strong end so far as well. Yeah. I think they've been playing decently well. I think G2, despite them losing yesterday 2 ends, who are playing great Counter-Strike, they're looking better and better. We saw them playing tours not so long ago, and I was very disappointed in the performance there. But it seemed like yesterday they at least give ends a fight and won a map against them. So maybe a little bit of a positive sign coming out from the French side.
Yeah, you'd hope so, right? I think Shox and Kenyas are still far away from their max engine speed. They're going to need to come online today if they want to have a chance.
Sure.
We also saw North that had to battle against Windigo. I mean, that was surprising, but you know, 3 overtime or 4 overtime on Dust 2 just to survive that game. So hopefully they can bring a better game today because your opponent's going to be a little bit better.
Yeah, that was a marathon of a game. What did you say, 25-22, I think it was?
So, yeah.
Whew, that's a lot of rounds of Counter-Strike, Pim.
It is, and it's never fun to be in that position if you're North, right? You know that you're the favorites, you know you're supposed to win. Relatively easy, and yet you end up in a situation where you have to use 4 overtimes to win against a team who's playing with a stand-in that doesn't even speak their language. So, not really good for North.
You make it sound so good. Like, oh my goodness.
Trying my best.
Struggle Street is about the one that they're driving down now, and what we'll continue to do is talk about yesterday and some of the things that we saw in kind of coming out in a way that we thought they would.
Yeah, I think it's job done for ENCE overall. Obviously, they had a little bit of a scare losing Dust 2 to G2. That's a weak thing to say. The only question for me is the map pool for ENCE, right? They have Dust 2 that I believe is a weakness. Overpass is also shaky ground, but the rest of the map, they are just dominant. And I think they are exactly where they need to be. They're going to go up against Furia. That has been a surprise. But yeah, job done for ENCE at the moment.
What about some of the teams that we're seeing on the way out? NIP, obviously, have Pitta. That whole thing is just a disaster from the beginning.
Yes.
Cloud9 on their way home. They're done. That's
Disaster
the end
as
of
well.
that. Energy and Cloud9 in a lower bracket elimination match is a disaster. You know what? Let's start to run over some of these brackets so that you can all understand this picture that we're trying to paint for you up here on the desk. Talk me through Group A, Maniac.
Well, sitting to win a place in the semi-final. This is quite logical. We don't really know what FaZe are capable of. They have played against stand-in teams, if I can put it this way. And on the lower bracket, this is now Vitality versus North fighting for Dane here. What do you think?
Nah, I mean, I would still say Vitality is the favorite coming into this matchup, despite North beating them in the best-of-1 series. I think North yesterday were not looking that good. You know, you should be able to win against a team like Wendigo, as I said before. When they're playing with a stand-in that doesn't speak the native language of the team, who's coming in, had no practice whatsoever, and you still go in triple overtime or quadruple overtime or whatever it was, it's not good enough. That said, though, North have been playing some decent Counter-Strike, and it is a team, and not because I'm Danish here, but it is a team that sort of rise...
It's too late.
It's too late. It's too late. But they sort of like rise to the occasion sometimes. So I feel that it could be a great matchup, but Vitality should have the edge.
I do see your Danish allegiances. They kind of bleed through sometimes, and that's okay. That's completely fine. I have this kind of North American bias myself. What I also do have a bias towards is this next bracket that we're going to take a look at. That's going to be Group B. It's kind of all culminated into ENCE and Furia on the upper end of things, and if you look towards the lower end, what do we have?
We have Fnatic going up against Renegades, which is going to be one hell of a game. And then obviously the first game here in the stream, G2 against NIG. And I think both those matchups have potential to be really, really good matchups. I think Fnatic is not a bad team by no means. They just played a very well-playing Furia yesterday. Whereas for Renegades, they started slow. They didn't really look good in the first game in the upper bracket against G2. They didn't really look good in the one they won against Isurus. They lost a map to a team that you would say any given day they should just beat down 2-0. And now they face themselves against Fnatic. So a little bit worried on behalf of the Australians. I think that one could be close.
I mean, I am, and I would even be less hopeful Faction coming back, it feels like they are desynchronized. And I hope that it's not going to take too long, because they were in a good place before Faction had this issue.
Yeah, but not as good of a place as this Team Furia yesterday finding and really just solidifying the fact that they are here to stay. Let's talk a little bit about what it means for Furia here to be, I guess, this triumphant throughout the brackets.
It means the world to them. I think I said it yesterday, but this month that is coming up for them is going to be one of the most important months in their life. Not only do they have this tournament where they already exceeded their expectations, already showed some great Counter-Strike, they have the ECS finals coming up, they have the qualifier for the major, they have so much stuff to play, and I even believe they're in the Pro League finals as well, or at least somewhere around that. So they have so many tournaments of a high caliber where they need to solidify themselves as a top team, and I think they've done a great step already now by taking down Fnatic yesterday, and it's going to be super, super important for them to ride on that wave.
It was a really good showing on Nuke. We actually saw the Kree get used in ways that I don't think that we've seen it used before. But more importantly are the players to talk about that. One player that comes to mind would be Art and some of the styling he's putting on in the server.
What do you do now? Well, that's the question. They can't do anything. And JW's going to...
Arts is kind of like the loose guy in your team. And he likes a lot to play on Secret. And I think the main reason he was doing that because GW was pushing a lot of vents and messing up with our rotations. And then I think this round on ramp was because AbleJ was already down on the side.
Towards lower, and there's no utility. And it doesn't even matter that they've lost control now because they've given it up intentionally, which means Able knows to look there. Even counters off exists coming out from control. Art comes back in, he finds both of the others.
And the other one that he got the 2 kills, I got the info that the guys were going like to Secret, and I was on solo A, and I got lobby, and I said, guys, just trade 3B, because, you know, it's not going to be.
That's Brolan. Art's good shot to exist. Turns around, Brolan was staring the other direction.
Straight styling on Fnatic is one way you could talk about Furia yesterday on Nuke. That was a showing of force. I believe they got up to some 10 rounds before there was even an answer from the side of Fnatic. And we're talking about Furia on their T side.
We're talking about a Fnatic team that is by no means a bad team. I think Fnatic have been playing well as of recently, so Furia being able to, I would say, dominate Fnatic in the fashion they did yesterday, that's very impressive.
It is, and to me, Furia is a revelation. I think I am a little bit late on that train. Some people have already realized the potential.
It's okay.
To me, that is a discovery, and I mean, the creativity, the decisiveness, the aggressivity, they are able to play calm and fast-paced when they need to. They play the clutch right. How can you do that being such a rookie team? I mean, that was mind-blowing, and I don't know where are the limits right now.
What are the limits here for the Finns? I mean, they were really highly favorited there in Los Angeles. Now we come over here to Dallas, Texas, and we've seen them go through Isurus pretty easily. That was 16-4 to kick things off. They keep going through the bracket. They play G2. That was, albeit 2-1, so they were put to a little bit of a test there. Now they find themselves up against Furia. But talking about Ints, what do we know, guys?
The thing that impresses me the most about Ints is probably the consistency out there, right? It's a team that when you look at the lineup, you don't necessarily look at the names and think to yourself, all right, we have a player here who can play on a team like FaZe. We have obviously Alu, who's been playing some hearts out Counter-Strike, but the rest of the guys are good players, but not necessarily top players yet. But that's maybe just our perception that needs to change a little bit, because they have been consistently playing very, very good as of recently. And once again, we see it here in the tournament. They find themselves in a comfortable position, haven't really been pressured, and by the looks of it, it looks like they're going to cruise all the way through the semifinal.
I think so, yeah, definitely.
Is it easy for Ints, though? That's the real question on everyone's mind, especially the Finnish people over there, just watching at home about at the right time. I do believe it's about dinner time over there, but nonetheless, easy for Ints. That is the topic at hand. We're going to take a look at what was yesterday and some of the pistol madness.
I can't believe they got out. That
So the CT side pistol round on train was important to win, so it made us easier to win the CT half. I think it was mostly because everyone just hit their shots and we pushed together outside, so then everyone hit their shots and smoked the bomb and enemy panicked and it was ours.
X7, 3 versus 4. The bomb is down and
oh my god.
They're hitting headshots out of the blue. How are they even allowed to get those fights? There's no smoke to cover the bomb, so this position for Kenny could be huge. He's back. Oh no, he does not make it back around the corner. And now Amanek, they're trying to run him down. They did everything right, G2. They can't go this round, but they will end up losing it.
Oof, and there's something about being graced by Anders' voice right there in the moment. It's just so, it's wholesome Counter-Strike. Anders, the almighty when it comes to voiceovers and commentary in Counter-Strike. Guys, the almighty does continue because we do have some matches today to talk about. In fact, we're going to be starting off with G2 Energy, then Liquid FaZe, then Ents and Furia, or Furia as some people call it. But over on the B stream, you can take a look as to Fnatic Renegades, Vitality North, and then TBD.
That should be a good game, TBD. No, joke aside, I think two very good teams going to be up there.
Yeah.
Vitality versus North, I would put my money here if we're looking for a banger of a game. I believe Fnatic is going to dispatch of Renegades. I haven't been convinced by what I've seen from the Aussies. I'm really sorry about that. But yeah, Vitality North, I think that has potential for a crazy game.
Yeah, really slow stuff there from the Renegades, and we kind of theorize as to why it is that way. Unfortunately, we're not going to be seeing the Renegades right away. It's G2 and Energy, and we have Frankie down on the sidelines with a report from the coach of G2. Take it away, Frankie.
Malik, the coach for G2, joins me now. And first of all, let's talk about that game against Ents yesterday. Why do you think you couldn't win that series?
I think it could have done better if we could have won the first one, actually. We missed some stuff on at the start of the game. We let them pick us on the first two gun rounds. It was not a good idea. So we were leaded like 5-2. But then we did good, and then 9-6 or something. And then the T-side was not so good. So we could have done better, and taking train would have been great because 2-0 is always better than 1-2. So and about the last map, I don't know. They played really great. We were a bit off. I don't know if it's being tired or something, but it was really tough to keep the intensity during the game. And I think it will be better today.
You just told me you're happy with the veto. I won't get you to share what the maps are because I don't think they've gone through that on the desk yet. But what is the plan to take down NRG?
It was easy because we knew exactly the vetoes basically, and it took like 30 seconds to do the vetoes with them, and we prepared really well. We had a good brief and a debrief about the game yesterday, so I'm quite confident going into the series.
And finally, this is the thing with G2, you can get a good lead, you can play fantastically well, and then a small thing can happen and you fail to close a map or even a series. How will you stop that today?
It's all about preparation and being patient. We have this team where Shox is leading in a way that it can go super great, but in the meantime, micromanaging things and having people around him not stepping up, like about the vision, the reads, the communication. We need to improve on that, and you can get snowball a lot if you don't have good communication on CS. So that's basically the main focus we have to be on, and we will make sure that we will communicate well today.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me, Malik. Good luck in your match against NRG. And let's head back to the desk.
Yes, that's right. Energy G2 will be kicking us off here today. And if you are just tuning in, you are in the exact right place for me to tell you about the Intel Grand Slam. We already have Liquid, who have a notch on their belt. And I believe they're the only ones here with that. So let's tell you a little bit more about what is the Intel Grand Slam Season 2.
4 victories need to be won within 10 eligible events. If a team lifts a trophy on one of those, they have 9 events to collect 3 more in order to get the Intel Grand Slam. Victories that happened 10 events ago expire and no longer count. Every team's timeline starts with a tournament victory. That means every contender has their own timeline. The Intel Grand Slam is about marking a team's dominant era, and each group of players writes its own legacy. Once a team is just 1 victory away from completing the Intel Grand Slam, their opponents have an additional incentive to make it even harder. Any team that denies the competition of the Intel Grand Slam in a tournament final gets an additional $100,000 killer bonus added to their prize. But if a team is dominant enough to win 4 trophies in the past 10 events, they win the Intel Grand Slam, take home $1 million, and mark their era of CSGO. But it doesn't end there. After the Intel Grand Slam is achieved, the race resets for everybody. From the next tournament, all teams start fresh and the chase for 4 trophies starts anew.
Yes, the Intel Grand Slam. While Astralis did grab a notch into that towards Katowice, the major itself, they are not here to try to grab another one in Dallas. In fact, it'd be Liquid who picked up one in Sydney. And that will certainly help them on their way. If they can pick up a trophy here in Dallas, that might just be all it takes.
That's going to put a lot of pressure on Astralis. I know they maybe have been down prioritizing this a little bit due to all the traveling and all that kind of stuff, but make no mistake, if you can win $1 million and your name is Astralis, you want to.
I guess you're right. I cannot argue that. I mean, I was thinking about it. $1 million sounds fun. No, but to be honest, yes, Astralis are making choices when it comes to their agenda, the calendar, and then that opens up possibilities for other teams. Liquid here have a possibility to put so much pressure on them, and they are a favorite. Yes, ENCE is here, but Liquid should be getting a tournament.
Yeah, and that Liquid matchup that we're going to be seeing today is versus FaZe. It's the second one, however. So coming up after the break, I do have the first matchup of the day, the first best of 3 that we're going to be diving into. G2 taking on NRG here in the brackets, live, uncut, and direct. Tarek and the boys trying to get it done here, and the G2 Frenchmen are going to have something to say about it.